Okay, so get ready, because today we're talking Spellbook and RhythML.
Yeah.
It's kind of like coding music, but with plain text. Spellbook is this module you use in VCV Rack. And,
Yeah.
well, for anyone out there who's new to this whole thing, VCV Rack is free software that basically lets you mess around with these virtual Euro Rack modules. You don't need to go out and spend a ton of money on all that gear just to experiment.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and this is where RhythML comes into play, right?
Yeah.
It's the language you use to, like, tell Spellbook what to do.
Exactly. You got it. It's a plain text format that you can use to program your musical sequences. You're actually writing them out, like lines of code.
Why would someone choose to use this whole text-based thing? Like, what's the advantage?
With RhythML, you can just type out a melody as fast as you can think of it, change it up just as quickly. And because you're working with text, it means you can copy, paste, edit, share your sequences just like you would a document.
So I could share a RhythML sequence with a friend. They could load it up on their own setup. And it's like we're sharing the same musical idea, but in a whole new way. It's like sheet music for modular synthesis.
Exactly. 100%. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of RhythML, yeah?
It's not as scary as it sounds. Imagine a spreadsheet. Each row is a step in your sequence, and each column controls a different aspect of the sound.
Does that mean RhythML doesn't care about time signatures and stuff, like in traditional music notation?
You got it. That's one of the coolest things about it. It's not bound by those rules.
Yeah.
You can have a sequence with any number of steps, and each step can be as long or short as you want.
It's this flexibility that makes RhythML so incredibly powerful. You're not stuck with some preset rhythmic structure.
And we haven't even gotten to the actual code yet.
It's surprisingly straightforward, actually. Just picture each line of RhythML code as controlling a specific voltage level. So you can type in the exact voltage you want, like 5.
And so if I wanted, say, a steady 5 volts going to one of my outputs, I just type 5 for that step in my sequence, just like that.
Nailed it. But it gets even better. RhythML also understands percentages. And these are normalized to the standard Eurorack voltage range, so 0 to 10 volts.
Okay, so 0% would be 0 volts, 100% would be 10 volts.
Exactly.
And then everything in between.
You got it.
So I can dial in the exact amount of, like, modulation I want, whether I'm messing with a filter, an oscillator's pitch, whatever. It's about finding what clicks with how you think about music.
Exactly. And I know what you're thinking. What about the notes?
Yeah, the notes. Do I have to, like, look up the voltage for every single note that I want to play?
No way. You can literally type in the note names C4, G sharp 3, and it just knows. It converts them into the correct voltages automatically. And it gets even cooler. You can use MIDI numbers, frequencies, and hertz. Even microtonal accidentals, those notes between the keys on a piano?
Okay, now hold on. Microtonal accidentals.
Uh-huh.
So you get that fine-tuning.
Precision. And for drums, anything where you just need a quick trigger, RhythML keeps it simple.
So
Like X is a retrigger.
Okay.
T for a trigger pulse. W, full gate. You lay out your whole track like this.
Hold on. So if I want a snare hit, I just put a T where it should be.
That's it. And just like any good language, RhythML lets you write comments right there in the code.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so you can leave little notes for yourself, or if you're working with other people, you can explain what's what.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's like, this is the spooky part, or here comes the drop, written right there in the code, especially as your sequences get more and more complex.
Yeah.
So we've got this musical language, RhythML, but it needs, like, a stage.
Yeah.
That's where Spellbook comes in. It's where all the magic happens.
Exactly. Spellbook takes that RhythML code you've written and translates it into those control voltages that your modular synth can actually use. You literally type it all out right there on the module itself in a text field.
So it's like a musical code editor built right into your synth.
Yeah.
But this text editor, it's got to be more than just a notepad, right?
Oh, it's got your back. Spellbook does automatic column alignment, keeps everything neat, got your text resizing because, yeah, sometimes you need to zoom in on those crazy sequences. And if it's a long piece, don't worry, it scrolls. And about control, once you've written your RhythML masterpiece, it's not done. You've got inputs to move through the sequence, steps, reset, and here's the cool part, an index input.
Index input, that's got my attention. Sounds powerful but mysterious. What's the deal?
So say you want to control which step's playing, right? But not just clicking through. You want another signal to do it for you. That's the index input. Hook up an LFO, envelope, even an audio signal. It'll move through your sequence based on that voltage. And it gets better. 2 modes, relative and absolute. Relative, think of it like a phasor smoothly going through as the voltage rises. Absolute, each volt is a specific step, super precise.
Both useful, depending what you're doing.
Or you could even connect it to something that's generating random voltages and just let the sequence go wherever it wants. It's like adding this element of controlled chaos to your music.
A little unpredictable.
That's the beauty. And get this, you can use multiple Spellbook modules, all being controlled by that same phasor or LFO. You can create these like polyrhythms and interlocking patterns. It's wild.
Direct connection between your brain and the music, you know?
Totally.
It bypasses all the typical stuff that can make sequencing feel so complicated. Okay, let's bring it back down to earth for a second. For our listener who's hearing all this for the very first time,
Yeah.
why should they care?
They make modular synthesis something anyone can do. You just need a computer and some curiosity, really, to start exploring this whole world of electronic music, and it doesn't matter what your technical skills are or your budget, because remember, VCV Rack is free, and Spellbook is free within that.
Right.
So you don't need to go spend thousands of dollars to get started.
It's like the difference between needing a whole recording studio versus just a laptop and, a good idea.
Exactly. And it's not even just about accessibility, it's a whole new way of thinking about making music. RhythML really encourages you to break free from what you think you know about traditional notation and look at music on a much more fundamental level. Voltage control.
It's like learning the secret code behind it all.
Yes.
Once you know the code, you can create anything.
Exactly.
But for someone who's already familiar with, other ways of sequencing, what makes this stand out? What can you do with Spellbook and RhythML that you couldn't before?
For me, it's how immediate and flexible it is. With RhythML, there's no messing around with knobs or drawing little tiny notes on a grid. You just type it out, and it feels so much more direct. And with RhythML, you have the freedom to experiment without all the technical stuff getting in the way. You want to try a crazy time signature? Go for it. Feeling adventurous? Want to modulate with a random voltage source? Do it. RhythML gives you the tools, but then it gets out of your way.
So it's not just for beginners then. It sounds like there's something here for even really experienced electronic musicians, anyone who's looking for a new way to break out of a creative rut.
Absolutely. It's for anyone who wants to push the boundaries,
Yeah.
And because RhythML is so open-ended, there's really no limit to what people could do with it. As more and more people start using it, experimenting with it, who knows what they'll come up with.
But for our listener, the one who's been with us this whole time, really digging into Spellbook and RhythML, what's the one big takeaway you hope they walk away with?
Ooh, that's a good question. If I had to pick just one, I'd say don't be afraid to just experiment. Spellbook and RhythML, they give you these amazing tools, but you really unlock their true potential when you just start playing around, Push the boundaries, break some rules.
It's not about being some kind of tech whiz. It's about remembering what it's like to just have fun making music, to be curious.
Exactly. Just try things out. Change the code, see what happens. Connect your modules in ways you wouldn't normally think of. You might stumble onto something incredible.
Spellbook and RhythML are saying, here's a playground, here's your toolkit, now go build something amazing.
Yes, and then share what you make. That's the best part of being in a community like VCV Rack. Everyone's learning from each other, getting inspired.
I feel like I need to fire up VCV Rack and start messing around with RhythML right now.
I might just have to join you. Always a good time to explore.
Happy sequencing, everyone.